Hey guys, what is up? Aoki, and we are doing another coaching session. Today it is on a player named Necrosis, who is a Plat 4 NAMI main. I'm going to jump right into it. I've been looking through your OPGG, and the first thing that I want to talk about is your rune pages are incredibly static on NAMI. She's pretty versatile when it comes to runes, and it looks like you run the exact same thing without ever branching into your primary runes. Look fine. They're pretty standard on Nami. Where the versatility in Nami's rune pages come in is in her secondary tree, where you're actually able to choose between the inspiration tree, which you go every game, and the resolve tree, which is actually what I prefer. It doesn't look like you ever really swap up anything in your runes. Some games you might want to be looking at taking stopwatch, which I didn't see you bring even playing into things like Rengar and other damage dealing champions that are going to jump you, and stopwatch comes in really big handy there. But also in the resolve tree, some players like to switch it up to go things like bone plating and chrysalis. I personally prefer revitalize and font of life, but just be a little less rigid in your rune page selection. But without that being said, let's get right into the game. I like your proactivity. All of your team is here. You are leading the way. You're not, wasting 5-6 seconds at the beginning of the game. What I always do is ward over here. If you're going to stack in this bush, use your ward over here. It gives you like 5% less pressure in lane, but like seriously, it's the amount of times that I've caught a team invading up this way and then catching us from behind is like in the hundreds. So if you're going to sit in this bush, ward over here. Just drop it right over the wall. Ping for your team to stack here. Okay, so we did catch vision of them there. I would actually, if you're going to do this strategy, I know you're just having a bit of fun taunting them or whatever, but come here and just sit in this bush, because let's say perhaps maybe that J4 is going to face check here. You guys have two people here. You might get his flash, something like that, but just come right up to the edge of this bush and don't actually walk out, because you might catch people just, fumbling around, stumbling into your bush over there. So ward here, stack here. Don't actually give them vision of you, because that basically just told J4 that you're ready, and he's maybe thinking you have your entire team there, so he's not going to come face check that at all. But it's just about getting information about the enemy team, capitalizing on people not, playing early game ideally. So let's look at our lane matchups. We brought Ignite. We are playing into, looks like, Lux and Xerath bot lane potentially. I don't know. Lux might be going mid. Could be up against a Swain. I like this. I like this idea. If you're going to do this, don't do it so late, because they could have that warded or they could be stacked there. And especially this, I think that your instinct was to kind of come to this side of the wall, when your instinct should actually be to stay as close to your partner as possible and on this side of the wall. Because just that 1 second of you kind of pathing down here, maybe that was trying to dodge a skill shot or whatever, but just that 1 second, you always have to imagine what's the worst possible thing that could happen in the next second. So you path down a little bit down here, and their entire team happens to be right here. Now you're blowing your flash over the wall. But furthermore, mostly what I brought that up for was because if you are going to do a cheese thing, come down here immediately. Throw your ward on this side of the wall, see if they're invading there, and path this way from the get-go. Because this could have been an actually really good cheese. I don't think that they have the damage to one-shot you, and as Nami, that's a huge advantage. Walking into lane with half of your life bar missing and half of their life bar missing means that you won that trade, because you should be going W first and using that to get your life bar back. It doesn't look like you went W though, because yep, now you did go W. So you should be just using that to get your life back right now. Walking into lane 100%. Alright, let's look at laning phase. This, like I said, this is a lane that you guys should definitely win. I like the pushing for level 2, proactivity. I dig it. Alright, so Lux and Xerath. One interesting thing I want to point out is that neither one of these guys are missing mana. So what that means is that they could potentially, I'm not sure if players do this in this ELO. It's kind of like an ELO specific thing. Some people do it, some people don't. They could be fake leashing. So you might want to throw a ping or two on your blue buff because no one dropped a ward over here, which is another big reason why I really highly encourage you to use your ward either here or here, depending on where you path in the beginning, because that just gives like an ease of mind to your jungler. He's not going to walk over here and get cheese. He's not going to walk over here and realize they took your blue. But keep an eye on that mana, on your enemy mana bars when they come into lane, because fake leashing, that's like the dead giveaway. It doesn't always mean that they fake leash, but it could. Okay, I would be pushing a little further up. Oh, definitely get in a situation like this too. Definitely get Q second, man. You could firstly you're standing too far back for having a level 2 advantage. You really shouldn't be afraid of anything. He's got his Q and she's got her AoE. I think that's her W. Yeah. So you're not. They don't even have any hard CC yet. You really shouldn't be afraid of anything, especially at level 2. Especially because you have level 2 CC. Go Q level 2, and especially with an aggressive ADC like Lucian, you land that bubble, drop your ignite, land your auto W. Like you're either gonna get their flash or you're gonna get their life. So be more willing to play aggressive with Nami's level 2. There you go. Free trade, free trade. I like it. Now this is a little sketchier than it should be, because at this point they have hit level 2. If you get tagged by the Xerath stun here, you're actually in trouble. Yeah, this is ballsier. So you're actually like playing reverse of what you should be. You're playing way too aggressive when you should be actually respecting, and when you had the level 2 advantage, you weren't playing as aggressive as you should be. Yeah, this could potentially be a death here. Holy yikes, this Xerath. So I want to say this should have been your death. They severely misplayed. Something that I say in a lot of my coaching sessions is just because it worked out doesn't mean it was correct. You should not have been in this bush. You should have been respecting their CC and their all-in potential. Yeah, that should have been your death, not Xerath's death. I'm glad it worked out for you, but okay. Presence, 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 man. Presence up here when you're diving. Try to be at least even. I know you've got no mana, but you need to have presence. Always try to stay even with your ADC. And then once you've got it pushed to the turret, you should actually, before you guys back, you should always get your spell thief procs off. So, tap the turret 1, 2, 3 times, however many procs you've got. You're going to speed it up till you get back to lane. Yeah, it's a pretty standard buy for someone that's got a kill. So no complaints with your build so far. You upgraded your support item, got some fairy charms, grabbed a control ward. Really, the only complaint I have about your laning, I understand that you don't want to be right in their face, but if you play behind the minions, you could be getting a couple more Frostfang procs off than you are. You got to remember, man, as long as you don't get 100 to 0, you win this lane. You've got sustain and they don't. Yeah, you're kind of I'm not trying to make a fish pun here, but you're kind of floundering. You're just kind of like walking. You're a little more behind your ADC than you should be. When really, your ignite's up soon. You've got sustain and they don't. You threw a raw bubble there when you've had, I think, plenty of opportunities to walk up. I know you know the full NAMI combo. You're a plat player. I know you know this, but I'm just going to say this for the sake of the coaching session. The full NAMI combo is to proc your E either on yourself, um, land it on the opponent, so you've got the slow. Either proc it on yourself or proc it on your ADC. Whoever's got the easier auto attack. Use that auto attack to slow the ADC, and then drop the bubble. It can be really tempting sometimes to just throw. I call them raw cues like that, something with no setup. But a ton of Nami's strength lies in how much CC she has. If it's easy to land, and it's not really easy to land Nami's bubble. So many people think that that's just like a really easy, skill shot. Like, oh my God, she missed the bubble. Yeah, if they're not slowed or already stunned, you're gonna miss a ton of bubbles. So I think in that particular instance, you had a lot of opportunities where you could have at least put the E on Lucian because he's been throwing in some auto attacks, or auto attacking yourself. Another raw bubble there. You're gonna be if this is how you're approaching Nami, you're not getting as much out of her kit as you should be because you can have these crazy 200 IQ prediction cues, or you can just like use the full extent of your kit to make sure she's got so much follow up CC, whether it's someone else holding them in place or your slows holding them in place. Okay, there it is. There it is. See, oh my gosh, you'll have like 95% more accuracy if you get that down. Great, great, great job. And honestly, you should have been doing that a long time ago. I think you were more comfortable to do it because the wave was a little further out from the turret. But honestly, like you ate a lot of damage there, and you're totally fine. Like you didn't even come close to dying. You still got the heal. They don't have an ignite. Do that. Do that over and over and over again. Perfect. Perfectly executed, Nami. That's how you should be laning. If they're gonna bring some whack ass shit into the bot lane, like Lux Zerath bot lane, just punish them, man. Let me rewatch that because I don't think that you should be over here. I think that you thought you were zoning when honestly you would have been a lot more useful over here. Ah, never mind. Sorry about that. I misread that. That was totally done already. You were fine to come over here, get vision. This is interesting. Depending on the angle, this is either going to be somewhat decent or kind of bad. Yeah, you threw it, like I said, it was going to be very angle dependent. If you threw it this way, one, it would give Lucian the speed up to go aggressive on them, and two, it would have cut off their escape. But throwing it this way, it just like puts too much. It's kind of the same thing with the bubble, man. If they don't have a reason, if they aren't stuck in place through slows or stuns, you're gonna miss that wave 100% of the time. The wave's really, really tricky to hard engage with. It's just so goddamn slow. So unless you have like a really, really good angle, I would hold off on using that wave. See, now if you had the wave, it would be like an amazing opportunity to use it. Your jungler's here for follow up. You could throw it behind them, like I said. They can't walk through it, so they have to basically stay over here, take all this free DPS, all the while Kayn is closing in on them. So just a little more patience with your waves would have been good there. All right, ease on him. There's the slow. It's all right. She flashed. Ooh, nice. Good, good, good thinking with the W on him in case that Zerath comes out. So this is kind of just pushing it to the turret, and you guys should be going back. Okay. Good job staying. You saw the ADC canceled his back. It's best to stay in lane with them. Good job. Good job. Okay, so there, I think you should have canceled your back. Kind of with the same idea where you canceled it because it was clear he was going to have to stay in lane. I think you should have the foresight to know that that's going to hit, or he's going to cancel it. But you know, that's a minor gripe. Oh, 11:18. That's my bad. I accidentally clicked that. We are right here. Okay, so you've got your you got your magical footwear. Looks like you're a little more open to roaming now. Really, really good foresight on the roam here, man. Really, really good stuff. This was honestly like a textbook case of a good roam. You happen to be in the right place at the right time by reading the map. You don't really have a reason to walk to lane and just sit there since your ADC is going to be he staggered his back. This was a good roam. So many supports I see wasting that time slot where they just walk to lane, or you know, they wait for their ADC, or you were very proactive in going out and getting something done on the map. Really, really good bubble as well. Can't do anything about that one. I would have flashed that. I honestly would have flashed that. You don't know how much damage. You don't know if this Alawi has flash. You don't know if she's gonna flash on you. You shouldn't die here. But I'm always sketch when they've got 3 people right here and you're playing a squishy champion like Nami, and J4 EQs you. Yeah, see, and you ended up using your flash anyway, so just have a little bit of foresight about dives like that. So you could have if you worst case scenario, they probably should have killed you there, and they still might. Okay. But yeah, if you had flashed from the beginning, you would have had a full life bar, and they wouldn't have been able to really dive after you like that. But like I said earlier, just because something goes okay or correct doesn't mean you play it as efficiently as you could have. Just flash the EQ. So yeah, at this point, I would be encouraging your ADC to not even come to mid. You guys still have a turret to take and defend in bot lane. There's not really a real reason for both of you guys to be roaming since all the excitement is over in mid. So I would be playing this lane a lot differently now that you're up against Swain. Basically, you're on the clock here. The longer you guys have this lane last, the longer bad things are going to happen to your team, because 2 people on the other side of the map is way worse than having your 2 locked to the bottom. They only have Swain committed to this. Yeah, play this super, super, super aggressively. Hoo hoo hoo. Alrighty, let's go over that because I think you could have done that better. I'm trying to see where you use your bubble. Okay. So a bit of the misplay. I'm not here to talk about, you know, you can't always land your skill shots. I get that. I would have timed your ult a lot better here. I would try to time your ult a lot better here so that it's hitting him as soon as he comes out of the Zonias. So you got the slows on him. You did put the slows on him before, but like throw it right now and it hits him right as he comes out of Zonias. Whereas this gives him a chance to, like, you know, flash on you. If he'd have played it a little bit better, you would have died. But you guys got the kill. That's good. But now push, 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 push. Because we see all kinds of shit happening on the other side of the map. You know J4 is not coming down here. I would be like pinging Lucian's ult. Just ult this and get out ASAP. I'm not crazy about you. I mean, everyone is on the map. You know you're not getting ganked, so I'm not crazy about you backing without Lucian. I mean, honestly, you guys could have even pushed another wave and potentially taken the turret. Because the longer you guys leave that turret up, the longer you're gonna have to keep going back to bot and going back to bot and locking up two of your champions, whereas at most they're sending one. Yeah, I honestly wouldn't even have gone back to turret. They're not even sending anyone bot. You guys could have taken this. I mean, you're walking over wards now. Yeah, I would have stayed another bot wave, taken the turret. Let's see what happens here. You're positioning decently well. You're a little too face forwardy here, but you're positioning pretty well. Oh, one thing that I need to mention for those watching, I was informed that the Nami is actually on voice comms with the ADC for this game, so that is relevant because communication things like earlier when I said you should be pinging your ADC, you can just tell them that. Just use your ult, let's get out of here, or let's commit to taking the turret. I personally would have taken the turret, but League of Legends is a game of inches, man. Sometimes those 4 seconds that you save by, clearing the wave as efficiently as possible actually do end up mattering. But you don't have any like really glaring flaws. It's really so far just like minor efficiency things. Like, ulting him the second he gets out of the zonias, or, holding onto your bubble until they're locked down, or, being aggressive in lane, staying even with your ADC. I'm not seeing any like game losing flaws so far. What is this? Probably shouldn't be buying Dark Seal as Nami. I understand you're popping off your 209, but she's just a champion that makes so much better use from utility items than raw AP. Like, it feels good and it's funny to go things like full AP Nami, but honestly, man, like, oof. Not crazy about that one. Nope, 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 nope. Terrible. Bad, bad. It's presence, but honestly, man, you're flying really close to the sun there. Let me rewatch that again to make sure that I mean, you don't know if they have vision here. Is the thing that I'm worried about. You have vision here, but you walking this close, I mean, let's say that hits, then you get luck snare, then you get Swain pulled in, you get all in. I don't know, man. I mean, especially not having any vision over here. Like, walk close enough to give him the E. You don't need to get this close to Fizz. Just careful. Careful around bushes, man. Especially when you're going, Lucidity Boots, Dark Seal, things like that. Just careful on the positioning on face check and bushes. See, this is the level of presence I wanted to see out of you in laning phase. Do you see how you're so confident to walk up to that Lux? That's what I like, man. That's what I like. Look, this right here, this, your zone, and look how she immediately backs off because she knows if you land a slow bubble, she's dead. I like this, man. You're denying her CS. You're confident in your kit. And most importantly, you're confident in how your kit is more important than hers at the moment. She's not going to be able to one-shot you. There's no way. She's not. She's 0-4. She's not fed at all. And there you go. She didn't respect you guys, and she paid for it. But just those 2 seconds of zoning, I want you to see like how happy that makes me, because that's what I want to see out of your laning phase. I want you to literally imagine that circle around you. They're not allowed in that circle. These zones. As far as your slow and bubble can reach, that's your zone. And if they ever enter in that zone as an immobile squishy champion that's 0 and 5, just dick them, man. Just punish them for it. Especially at level 2. Your zone gets tremendously bigger at level 2. Okay, I think you made the best of a bad situation there. Your team was like, I don't really understand what they're doing because you guys already got the inhib, and at that point, like, what are you doing? Are you trying to end the game? Because you guys aren't strong enough to end the game. You got the inhib. I guess all you can do really there is just communicate to your ADC that you're wanting to back out, and ping your team off trying to back out. But you made the best of a bad situation there. It's fine. This is kind of weird that you're doing any of this. You have absolutely no backup. Your team's not over here. So you're kind of doing the same thing that your team was doing here. Don't blast cone over. You're never going to be able to take the blue buff before they come unsee it. So it's kind of like, remember in the beginning of the game when I was like, that J4 might walk in there and worst case scenario, he gets blown up. There's no real best case scenario for him, right? If he walks over there level 1 and he's alone, what's the best case scenario? I've never understood that, why people do that. Why do people invade alone? Like, what's the best case scenario? Are you going to 1v1 someone as J4? No, you're not. You're definitely not going to, best case scenario, nothing happens. Worst case scenario, you die. And you don't want to ever be doing that yourself. What is the best case scenario of you going over here? You find someone, I guess. But worst case scenario is that you die. So just always have that running in the back of your mind before you do something. What is the best thing that could happen with me doing this? What's the best result and what's the worst result? And are they really worth it? Is the worst result really worth it? So yeah, you don't want to fall into the same traps that your team made. I like it. I like the mastery flash too. Careful with your pathing though. Careful with your pathing. Your team's really tied up. If you got jumped on there, I'm not sure anyone would have been able to save you in time. Interesting. Your Kane is so fed. Well played, man. Well played. It was a well executed dive. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. I feel like you're kind of in panic mode because you realize you guys have left Baron unwarded for a long, long time. I was going to see how long it went on before mentioning it, but it's good that you came over here and noticed it. I would honestly be a little more hesitant about face checking like the three bushes that you did without your team there to back you up. Let's say you get jumped on and die. As long as your team's there, you guys are strong enough to win the fight even if you get blown up. But careful about checking vision. It's good that you realized that you guys didn't have vision there, but also you didn't really fix the problem. You didn't drop a control ward on the Baron. You didn't get vision on the Baron. So it's good that you realized that you didn't have it. It's bad that you didn't fix that. And again, walking mid when you guys already have supers pushing to their Nexus turrets, this is just you guys trying to end the game. You're not strong enough to win in the game. I can tell you that. What you should be doing is setting up a Baron. Getting vision here, dropping your control ward, moving it from. Oh, it got cleared. So just drop your control ward on the Baron, control it. Yeah, that wasn't a very efficient fight at all. It shouldn't have even happened. This is how throws happen, dude. You guys have a huge lead, but you don't know how to use it. How you should have used it is, like I said, set up vision, drop the control ward, control the Baron. Nami's a perfect like anti-Baron champion. Like let's say you guys get halfway through the Baron and they want to come over and jump on you and fight. Oh my gosh, your wave is like literally designed for that. How are they going to get through here when that's like basically the size of your ult? Perfect champion for that. Let's say you're playing as Leona, someone like that. It's not so easy, because they're going to pour through here and you can only maybe lock down one of them. But Nami, whew, mega zoning champion. I would have used that vision plant, like angled it more down here to places you don't actually already have vision. I mean, you can already see the Baron, but that's a nitpick. Okay, so once again, your team's going mid, and you should really be encouraging them to come back or come Baron, come Baron, come Baron, come Baron. You don't have control over what they do necessarily, but I'm watching the map and I'm not seeing you actually ping it. And by being here, you're basically consenting to the fiesta. You're basically saying like, yes, I also agree we should be pushing mid. Like I said, man, your wave and your bubble were kind of wasted there. Opening with them, it's like it always looks so good, like, oh man, they're stacked up, I can wave now. But it just never turns out as good as it does in your head because it's so goddamn slow. And you're not like your team doesn't have a ton of CC, but every person on your team brought some form of CC. So I would just be waiting for that. Be a little more patient with your bubbles and ults. So yeah, this is the throw that I had been prophesizing since the beginning. By going mid, like you're just asking for this to happen. Basically, you have such a huge lead. You've got 3 dragons, you got 15 kills on them, huge gold lead. Just get that Baron, man. That's how you close games out. Hilariously enough, they killed 4 of you, and they're not doing Baron. Plat problems. You guys are just kind of fiestaing around. Now that the inhibitor's back, you guys should be 5 midding. And dude, I've played thousands of games with solo queue. I understand it can be incredibly difficult to convince people to be in the right place at the right time. But you gotta try. All you can do is try. Be where you should be. Can try to convince others to be where you should be. Either do the Baron or go mid. I would actually be going mid right now. I think you guys still win fights. You just don't win fights so decisively that you can end the game off them. But I do think that if you protect this way, brought it up to mid lane, you'd be able to get that inhib. There goes Fizz. So I recommend the opposite of that now. Now this was actually a good wave. This is a really good wave. Great disengage. Good bubble too, man. Very well played. But it's rough to win a 4v5. I don't think any of that was necessarily your fault. I think, kind of like I said earlier, you were making the best of a bad situation, but so you just killed 2 of them. The death timers are getting relatively long. Fizz did die for it, but your jungler's going to be up. So right now you're looking at a 4v3 situation. Lux's bot, ping the shit out of that Baron, dude. Ping the shit out of that Baron. Whoa, 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 pop the vision plan, bro. This you gotta think of this as a free control ward, man. Yeah, there's absolutely no reason to walk by that thing. Either ping it, blow it this way, see if J4's camping over there, blow it this way, try to get some vision of them following you, or ping it at the Baron, but do something with it, bud. Yeah, dude, vision is king when it comes to Baron fights. That was pretty big mistake. And again, just a mechanical like a timing misplay on the ulti. You had a bit of a rough timing on the teleport, but whereas if you had saved it for this, when you hit this godly bubble, dude, so much follow-up CC. So it wasn't a terrible idea to ult the teleport, but if you're just 10% more patient with your ultis, man, you're gonna be killing it on Nami. Because your positioning, your decision making, aside from the Medjais, which I don't agree with, your build, it just seems like your game sense with this champion is actually very good. If you just end up being a little more patient and a little more savvy of like how hard it actually is to land this shit, you're gonna be killing it with this champion. Because you're not feeding, you have a ton of map presence, like you're basically there at every single fight, you had a good roam, like you're doing like almost everything correct. You just gotta be aware, man. Your wave is slow as shit. This thing still never got popped. But it looks like you guys are finally going to Baron. Let's see how this turns out. Kayn has slain the Baron. Well, that could have gone poorly. One little nitpick that I want to say here is that you got to remember these guys both have ways of getting over the wall, whereas you do not. In fact, your flash is down as well. So if you get caught in the pit, you're dead 100%. If they get caught in the pit, they just they're mildly inconvenienced. So you should honestly be the first one out of here. I wouldn't have stuck around to give Kayn that W. I would have channeled my back and gotten out of there. Gotten out of Dodge pronto, man. See what you do with this Baron. Pushing top, pushing a lane that's not mid. That's good. That's good. Your team is all over the place, but you guys are in the correct place. I'd be a little more wary about checking these bushes, dude. You, at this point, have lost vision of basically all of them. Clearing vision out. Your Riven died. Alright, you've now got 3 people here. Good, good, good. Swain is reacting. Your bot lane is way out here, so there's no pressure there. And Fizz, we can see that he's just pushing in mid. So you need to play this kind of cautiously. You don't want to get hard engaged on by 5 people. Or you do, apparently. Alright, this is where the wave comes out. Throw the wave so it hits J4 and possibly Swain. Kind of a bad angle there. Throw it down next time. If you throw it down, he either gets hit by it or has to back off this way. Whereas if you throw it directly at him, he can just, kind of outplay it like that. Okay, it looks like you guys are closing out the game. You got separated from the bunch and you didn't walk through here, which was good because you don't have any vision over here. You don't know if it's safe to do that. You got separated from the rest of the people. It happens. You know, team fights are chaotic. I'm glad that you I'm glad that you channeled back in a safe spot. There we go, baby. Okay, good flash, good flash. Nice, nice jukes, baby. Woo! Got your Nikes on. Don't know if this is totally necessary. I think you guys could have just, you know, gone bot and ended it through there, but I think once you get this Elder Dragon, it's like the final nail in the coffin. So that's fine too. That's a fine way of ending the game out as well. I like how you're always either first or second to the like correct place where you should be. You know, either the Baron or the third wave. I like how you're either always first or second. Like I said, man, you're doing a lot of things right. I like this. I like seeing this. Okay. So Dumb and Dumber over here, I finally pushed it up. You guys are ready to either take the turret or completely dive. They've got to react to these waves. They have to react to these waves. So wait for like, you know, one or two of them to go. Yep, rotate up to your mid wave, rotate up to your mid wave. Here we go. Notice that Lucian's back here. You guys lose prolonged fights without your ADC. Good, 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 good positioning, man. You never gave J4 an option to ult you. This should be the end here. Boom! Good timing on that. Alright, so as this game closes out, I'm going to talk about the things that I liked and things that I disliked. Things that I think that you could improve on. Presence in lane, always be at least even. When you've got a... This is a really good lane. Like, they've got two immobile squishies. Basically, you just need to not walk up and get hit by the Zera stun into the all-in, and you win this lane, like, 100%. They didn't even bring Ignite. Like, this is 100% a lane that you won. And you did... You should win. And you did win it. You didn't win it as confidently as I wanted to see. Get your Q level 2, man. That's gonna change your... I mean... It's gonna change your world. If you start getting Q level 2, you're gonna have so many lanes that you can just all in or blow their flash level 2. You know, like things like that. But Nami Lucian, that's an incredibly aggro lane, especially with you having Ignite over them. Be a little less rigid in your rune selection. Try out the Resolve tree, man. Try out either Bone Plating and Chrysalis, or I prefer Revitalize and Font of Life. But don't bring the same runes every single time, because what that does is that breeds kind of a bad habit of not even understanding of why you're bringing the runes in the first place. Little more patience with the alts would have done you wonders. Little better angles. Understand when you're using the alt, whether you're using it to cut people off or to, you know, interrupt CC or to disengage, things like that. And depending on what you're doing with the alt, that's going to determine where you send it. Use the vision cones, man. Use vision in general. Your vision game wasn't super good this game. I saw a couple, you know, good sweeps and good, you know, control wards, setting up for sieges, things like that. But the around the Baron game, when the Baron came into play, I think you kind of lost track of what even vision is for. Especially with the champion as Nami, man. You get a control ward here, they eventually have to walk over here, and they're basically just corralling themselves into a death trap with your ulti and bubble. Same thing with this entrance. So work on your vision game, work on understanding the vision, and work on the timing and, you know, patience of your CC. Now, a lot of the strength of Nami CC comes from follow-up CC, not necessarily hard engage. But I saw a lot of good things. I hope you've learned something from this session. I hope that everyone that watched it learned something. Thanks for watching. Peace.